Namaskar. Welcome to this third and the final session of the 11th Adhyaya of Sri Bhagavad Gita. We start with our gratitude towards our Lord, with whose grace everything is possible. We pray to our Guru Parampara, with whose grace this knowledge is preserved, protected and passed on from generations. I pay my respects to my Guruji, Pujya Guruma, with whose grace I am able to learn the scriptures and share this understanding with you. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Punaktu Sahaviryam Parapavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So far we have seen in the first and the second sessions how Bhagavan is showing his Vishwarupa Darshana to Arjuna after the request of Arjuna to see this kind of a form. And initially the form was very pleasing, but then it started becoming more ferocious, more fearsome. And Arjuna initially stated that the entire world is getting distressed, and then accepted that I am also getting a lot of distress because of this form that he's seeing. He's seeing all the Bhishma, Drona, Karna, all the Kauravas and the main warriors getting sucked up into the flaming mouth of the Lord Vishwarupa. And then what he sees is Arjuna, he sees this ferocious form, Neliha Sekha Samana. The Lord God is, Vishwarupa is eating and licking these people thoroughly. He's enjoying this, and all the people who are entering the mouth, Arjuna is saying, "Oh Vishnu," he's saying, "the entire world is filled with your radiance, and this is causing severe heat, severe distress to all of the people around the world, and even Arjuna is in a lot of distress." And then Arjuna tells Bhagavan Krishna that Akhyai me ko bhavan ugra rupaha. I have never seen this kind of form. Tell me, O Lord, O God, O hey Krishna, tell me, who are you in this ferocious form? I have never seen a form like this before. He says, O greatest Deva Vara, O greatest of all the Deva, Namah Astu, I bow down to you. Prasida, be pleased, have mercy, have grace on me, and tell me, I desire to know you. Truly, you are the Adyam, jinka koi adi nahi hai. The first person, you are Adyam. And he says, Nahi prajanami tava pravrutim. I don't understand your activities, your actions. I've never seen you like this, destroying people, being a destructive mood. And he says, this kind of fearsome activities are something which is beyond my comprehension. Oh God, please tell me, who are you and what you are up to? What are you doing? What are your activities? To which Lord Krishna answers, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kalosmi lokakshaya krut pravruttho lokan samahartumiha pravruttaha rutepi tvam na bhavishyanti sarve ye vasthita pratyanikeshu yodhaha. Bhagavan says, I am Kalosmi, I am Kala, Sakshat Kala, I am the time, the eternal time, the death personified who destroys everything. This is what I am. And he says, what I am up to, Lokakshaya Kruta Pravrutta. I am here, my work is to destroy people. He says, I am here in this for destruction. Lokan Samahartum Iha Pravrutta. I am in action to massacre all the people, to destroy this world. Just like in Pralaya Kala, everything gets destroyed. Ye Avasthita Pratyanikeshu Yodaha. All the warriors in the opposite camp, make sure, know that they are all already, he says, Rute api tvam na bhavishyanti sarve. Even if you don't fight Arjuna, they are not going to remain in the future. They are all destroyed already. You have seen that they are getting sucked into my mouth. They are getting killed. They are getting destroyed. So it's better you do your duty. Tasmat tvamuttishta yasho labhasva jitva shatrun bhungshva rajyam samruddham mayaivaite nihata purvameva Nimitta matram bhavasavya tasmat. Therefore, Lord is telling Arjuna, therefore, understanding this reality that everybody is going to be destroyed one day, don't have so much of attachment to your loved, near and dear ones. Tvam Uttishta, you get up. He orders Arjuna to fight this war. And the order of the Lord here is not to incite violence into Arjuna, that he should fight. That is not the purpose. The purpose is that he is telling Arjuna to do his duty. This is a Dharma Yuddha, and to follow Dharma is the duty of Arjuna. To fight this war is the rightful duty of Arjuna, and that's why he tells Arjuna, and through Arjuna to all the Jivas, that do your prescribed duties in the best of the way that you can do, even if it involves fighting against injustice. We have to get up and fight this war. Yashah labhasva. To achieve this fame, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that you will be getting the honor of killing others, and this is only because of the grace of the Lord that Arjuna will get this honor. Though Bhagavan is trying to tell Arjuna that you will win over your enemies. You have just seen that all these enemies are already destroyed by me before, and you will be able to enjoy this prosperous kingdom. All these are already been killed by me. Maya eva ete nihata purvam eva. You have just to do some drama. You have to kill who already have been killed. That is what you need to do. Everything is pre-decided. Destiny is there. And you are the Nimitta Matram Bhava Savyasachin. Be an instrument. Oh Arjuna. Arjuna's name is Savyasachin because he could shoot his arrows not just with the right hand but also equally well with his left hand. So he was very good at using both hands. He was ambidextrous, and that's why his name was Savyasachin. And he says, be an instrument, oh Arjuna. It's a very beautiful attitude. If we can develop this attitude in our own life, we can do wonders for our life. And our Guruji explains in quite details how we can implement this attitude in our life. So we all need to understand that I am Nimitta Matram. I am just an instrument. Whatever I am doing in my work, in my duties, in my profession, in my family, as my, in all the different roles that I perform, I am a Nimitta Matram. Similarly, we also need to understand that not just I am Nimitta Matram, but everybody around is also Nimitta Matram, and we are all instruments, and we are here, all of us here, connected with each other by some kind of a karma, which we don't comprehend how we are connected, but whatever is the connection between people is because of the past karma. And this karma, whenever we undergo with each other or with our work or whatever karma that we do all our life, it produces karma phala, and it makes somebody nimitta for that karma phala for us to endure that bhoga karne ke liye. And this karma, the cycle or karma gati, already Bhagavan has said in the 4th Adhyaya that it's a very gahana karmana gahano gatihi. It's very deep. It is very difficult for us to understand, to comprehend the entire why some diseases happen to us. Why? So a lot of times we ask these questions: why this? Why somebody is disrespecting me? Why somebody is not appreciating me? Why am I not able to progress? Why am I not successful? All these questions come in front of us all the time, and we get worried. But if we can understand that other person is not the cause of creating these pain, miseries, failures, or whatever I am undergoing, the shortcomings that I am having, but that person is a Nimitta Matra. It's not that that person is giving me this dukkha. That person is also a Nimitta Matra, is also an instrument. Just like in the previous years, the postman used to bring some bad news. Today, Facebook or WhatsApp is bringing us some news. So that is a Nimitta Matra. It is not actually the cause of, and we don't try to blame the postman or the WhatsApp or Facebook for the bad news that we get. And that is the understanding. We don't need to blame others for whatever happens to us, because everybody is Nimitta Matra, doing their own work in the best of their own understanding, their abilities. And that's why we should learn to forgive others with this understanding that not only that I am the Nimitta Matra, but others are also Nimitta Matra. And this will give us a lot of peace and help us in our life. The second understanding of Nimitta Matra Bhava that we can have is, which will help us to dissolve our ego, our pride. And this is also very important. If I understand that whatever I do, most of the times you all feel that I have done this, I can do this, I have done this, nobody else can do this better than me. And all these I-ness or doership feeling causes a lot of ego, pride in ourself, inflates us and makes us expect more and more respect from the others. And this, according to our Shastra, is the Mithya Abhimana. It's all illusion of our Abhimana. And this expectation creates a lot of expectations, appreciations, and if you don't get these, we become very miserable, we become very disturbed. And we also need to understand that there are many factors which affect the outcome of whatever I'm doing apart from my own efforts, because there are a lot of people who help me to do whatever I'm doing in my profession, in my work, in my studies, in my education, in social service, whatever field I am into. So this, if we take all these into account, then we really understand that nobody is indispensable in this world, and that's why I must learn to share all my credit, my appreciation, my fame with my team, with my other people who are there, my family members who are helping me to develop or to do this. And this, expansing of our ego, our pride, or our sharing the credit, and this helps us to dissolve our ego, which is the biggest obstacle. If we understand that I am just a nimitta matra, then this helps me to dissolve my ego. And dissolving our ego is nothing but to expand it more and more and to merge our pride with the universal consciousness, and that is what is the ultimate goal of all the sadhakas or the seekers. The third understanding of nimitta matram bhava is that it helps me to understand or accept a higher power in my life. If I am the nimitta matram, then who is the doer? There is somebody else who is the doer, and that doer is the Sarva Shaktiman Ishvara, and I am the instrument. And Bhagavan already has told Arjuna that Yashola Baswa, you take the credit. So I am getting all the credit for the work done by somebody else. Lord is doing this through me, and I am getting a lot of credit because of this work. So whenever there is appreciation, I should try to transfer that credit to the Lord. I should always do smarana, remember the Lord, and this helps me to surrender to that higher power, and this will help me to achieve a lot of peace of my mind rather than getting inflated with the ego, and this will help me to live a smooth life. And that's why Guruji tells us that Nimitta Matram Bhav is a very important part of sadhana. It can become an important project, and this can help us to have a lot of peace, understanding and calmness in our life. Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadratham cha Karnam tathanyanapi yodha viran Maya hatanstvam jahima vyatishta Yuddhasva chetasi rane sapatnan. So all these Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna and all the other warriors with whom Arjuna always had the fear of fighting this war, because Drona was his teacher, revered guru, was a great archer. Bhishma was his pitamaha, and that's why he was very respected, revered. Jayadratha, who was the brother-in-law of Duryodhana, who already had a vardana from his father that whoever breaks his head will be broken into 1,000 pieces. Karna, who had the Amogha Shakti of Indra, and he was a great archer, the rival of Arjuna. All these warriors, Arjuna always had all this fear, how I can fight them. It was not actually a fear of fighting them, because Arjuna himself was a great warrior, a great archer, but he always had a lot of attachments with all these, and that's why he was very, he didn't want to fight the war. He sat down in the first Adhyaya, and Krishna is giving this Upadesh to him. And Bhagavan is telling him, Maya Hatana, they are already killed by me. You have seen that. Tvam Jahi, you kill them, those who are already destroyed by me. Nyavatishta, don't have any fear or any distress about this. Jetasi Rane Sapatnan, you shall win over all your enemies. Don't worry, Arjuna. You get up, you fight this war, do your duty, do your Kartavya Karma, become a Nimitta Matram Bhava. With this Nimitta Matram Bhava, you fight this war and you will win all these enemies. Sanjaya Uvacha Etat Shrutva Vachanam Keshavasya Krutanjalir Vepamana Kiriti Namaskrutva Bhuya Evaha Krishnam Sagadgadam Gita Pita Pranamya. So now Sanjay is talking to Dhritarashtra, and entire Gita ji, as you know, is Sanjay describing this Yuddha, what is happening in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, to Dhritarashtra by his own Divya Chakshu. And here he is telling Dhritarashtra that after listening to these words of Krishna, who told this, Arjuna, who is standing Krutanjali with folded hands and Vepamana, he is trembling because he has a lot of fear, he is in distress. Namaskrutva Bhuya Bhuya, he bows down again and again to Lord the Vishwarupa, And Bhita Pita, along with a lot of fear, he bows down again and again. Saggadgatam aha Krishnam. And with being Gadgad, Gadgad means being emotional, being intensely emotional. His eyes are filled with tears and his voice is getting choked. He is unable to speak. When somebody gets intense emotional reaction, this is the condition that happens, and he speaks to Krishna. Arjuna, from now onwards, for the next 10 shlokas, does a beautiful stuti, prayer, a praiseful prayer to Lord Vishwarupa. Arjuna uvacha sthane rishikesha tava prakirtaya jagat prahasyatyanurachyate cha rakshansi bhitani disho dravanti sarve namasyanti cha siddha sanghaha. So he tells Krishna by the word, hey Rishikesha. Rishikesha means who is the Isha of all the senses, the Indriya ke jo Isha hai. He says Sthane Rishikesha. Sthane means it is appropriate, it is okay. Tava Prakirtya means after singing all the glories of all your Leela, the dates, Jagat Prahashyati, the people in this world become very happy, they get elated. Anurachyate, and they develop a kind of love and attachment for you. And he says, it is Thane, that the demons, the Rakshansi Bhitani, the demons who fear you, they run in different directions, Disha Dravanti. And it is also Sthane, that Sarve Namasyanti Siddha Sangha, a group of wise people, enlightened people, those who understand you, those who know you. In this form, they worship you without any fear, with understanding that you are in different forms in this world. And he says everything is Sthane. Sthane means actually it is proper, it is appropriate, it is okay. Everything is in order. That is the meaning of Sthane. And Guruji tells us, describing this more in detail, that Sthane is a magical word. It can be life-changing. If we really understand what is Sthane and implement in our life, it can really change our life. So Sthane means everything is okay. It means there is no need to complain. There is, it gives us a lot of peace of mind. But actually in our life, how to use this Sthane, it is important. Life, as you all know, is full of dualities. There may be some good days, not some good days. There may be some, success, that sometimes can be failure, sometimes there is a pain, misery, sometimes there is happiness. All these dualities are part and parcel of life. And this creates many different circumstances. In each of these circumstances, we have to do whatever is the best that we can do in the best of our abilities. So, karma, we have to do in the best of our abilities. We don't have to accept all the situations or circumstances as they are. That is not the meaning of Sthane. Sthane means that in a given situation, we do everything that we can to improve that situation, to change that situation, to feel ourselves better, to help others, whatever we need to do. So after that, whatever is the result, that is something that we need to accept. The karma phala, we need to accept that it is Sthane, it is okay. Everything is well, all is well, no problem. So that is the meaning of Sthane. Sthane doesn't mean that we don't do actions, we don't become lazy, we accept every situation out of fear or out of love for others. We don't do certain things, we get cheated from our duties. That is not the meaning of Sthane. So in all the relations, there are several differences because of everybody's nature is different, and we need to accept all these differences in the nature of others around us. That means that is the implementation of Sthane. Okay, somebody is angry all the time with me, I should feel that okay, that's the nature of that person. Sthane, it is good for that person. We try to explain to them that being angry is not a good thing. It will not help you. It will cause more pain, miseries in the long run for you. It will also disturb a lot of relations for you. But if somebody doesn't understand, then we have to accept it and accept that saying Sthane. And Sthane actually in our own life, because our life keeps on changing, we have to be very open to accept the change in our life. And this we have to do it with a lot of enthusiasm, because in our own life we don't have to feel that everything is Sthane, everything is okay. That's not the purpose of Sthane. We have to introspect and see whatever we can improve, whatever we can change, what are our durguna, we have to take care of them, get it out, get more of Satgunas, Sampatti. And this is what we need to do constantly. At work, There may be several different points of view, and if we can accept, understand all these points of view, then it is called sthane. But most of the time what happens is that we feel that others are not able to understand my point of view. I am saying something, others is always contradicting, my boss is always contradicting me, not able to understand me. These are the ways we always deal. Instead, if we try to accept or understand the other's point of view, that is implementation of sthane in our life. So we must accept ourselves completely, whatever we are, and challenge ourselves, keep improving, rather than comparing or competing with others outside. We should try to compete with our own self and improve in whatever we do. Rahashyati and Anurachyati, the two words that Bhagavan Arjuna has said here. He says, singing your glories, makes people happy, and this happiness, and then it turns into the love and attachment for the Lord, that is the Anuraga. And this helps us to develop a kind of a relationship with the Bhagavan, a bonding with the Lord, and then ultimately there is only one relation with the Lord. All the relations become less important, the relationship with the God becomes more important. And this helps to always we think about the Lord, we see His Leela, we see His drama at work. And devotees, they have no attachment to the world. That is a very higher level of the devotion, where they are not much attachment to the world, but they are attached to the Lord. And Bhagavan also fulfills all the desires of the devotees for the devotees. Not only devotees feel that whatever happens is the God's desire in my life, everything is His krupa. That is what the devotees understand, but Bhagavan also tries to fulfill all the desires of the devotees. Kasmachatena name ranmahatman gariyase brahmanopyadikatre ananta devesha jagannivasa tvamaksharam sadasat tatparam yata. So here Arjuna tells, "O Mahatmana, O great being, how can I not bow down to you? You are Adikatre, you are the Brahmano Api Adikatre, you are the beginning of Brahmaji, you are the beginning of this universe, you are the beginning of all the Jivas, all the Ishwaras, all the Devatas. You are Gariyase, you are the greatest, the best teacher. The entire Guru Parampara starts from the Lord, because the Lord has started this Gnana Parampara. He is the best teacher. Ananta, you are in very different forms. Devesha, you are the Lord of all the Devas. And you are Jagan Nivasa, the final destination, the home to the entire world, because the entire world comes from Bhagavan and merges into Bhagavan again. So He is the final destination for everything. Sat Asat Tatparam Yata, you are the truth, the Sat Tattva, that is the Chaitanya Tattva. Bhagavan is the Sat and the truth. And Asat Tattva, that is the illusion, that is not the Sat Tattva, that is not the Adhisthana, but it is the Adhyastha. This Jada Padartha, according to our Shastra, the illusion, is also the Lord. It is also the Maya Shakti of the Lord, because of which everything is seen in different forms, in different manifestations, because of these Maya Shakti of the Lord. So everything belongs to the Lord, everything is Lord in all different forms. And that is what Arjuna is understanding. He says, Tvam Aksharam, you are eternal, O God. You are Sat Chit Ananda Brahma Swarupa, you are changeless, you are Avyaya, Akshara Tattva, and that is what Arjuna is telling Vishwarupa Bhagavana by doing his stuti. Tvamaditeva Purusha Purana Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam Vittasi Vidyam Cha Param Cha Dhama Tvaya Tatam Vishwavananta Rupa. So you are the beginning, Adideva, you are the beginning of all the Devas, you are Purusha, the complete being, the complete or perfect being. You are Purana, you are changeless, you are as it is, you don't change over thousands of years, you are the same. Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam, you are the final home to this world. Vetta Asi, you are the knower of everything, you are the Gnata, you are the Drashta, you are the Kshetrajna, you are the Chaitanya, Chaitana. So everything is the knower. This is all how we understand, we know this. And Bhagavan Arjuna is telling Bhagavana that you are Vetta Asi Vedyam, you are also the known. Whatever we see in the world, Drashya Jagata, Drashyaman Jagata, everything that is to be known, or everything that is worth to be known, Yogya to be known, is also the Lord. So everything, Bhagavana, He is seeing God everywhere. Param Dhama, you are the final destination of the Jiva, because finally his yatra goes towards the Lord. Just like all the rivers meet the ocean, similarly all the jivas are going towards the Lord. And you are Ananta Rupa, you manifest in all, you are in everywhere, you are the Upadana Karana of this Jagata, and that's why you manifest everywhere, and you are the Vishwarupa. He is doing this stuti, a praiseful prayer to the Lord Arjuna, and he says, Tvaya Tatam Vishwam, you are, the entire world is pervaded by you. So this is the understanding that Arjuna has now achieved. He's telling Krishna, he's telling Vishwarupa, because he's seeing the Vishwarupa, he's now understanding what Lord, what Ishvara is all about, how one manifests in all the different beings, and how the entire world is pervaded by this Lord. So he understands this, and that's how he's doing this stuti. Vayuryarmo Agni Varuna Shashankaha Prajapatisthvam Prapitamahascha Namo Namastestu Sahasrakritvaha Punascha Bhuyopi Namo Namaste. So you are in all the different forms of Vayuhu, Yamaha. Vayu is the god of the wind, Yamaha is the god of the death, Agni, fire god, Varuna, water god, Shashankaha, moon, Prajapati is the Brahmaji, Prapitamaha. Prapita means the great grandfathers. So you are in all the different forms. I bow down to you 1,000 times, again and again I bow down to you. And out of emotions, Arjuna is not finding the correct words, but he is seeing the Lord in his Purna Ishwaratva, and he is showing Arjuna's faith, his devotion and his surrender to the Lord Krishna here in front of the Vishwarupa Darshana. And then he says, Namah Purastata Datha Prushthataste Namostu Te Sarvata Eva Sarva Ananta Virya Amita Vikramastvam Sarvam Samapnoshi Tatosi Sarvaha. So he says, I bow down to you from the front, and also I bow down to you from behind. Puraha, Prushtaha. Puraha means from the front, Prushtaha means from behind. And he says, Nama Astu Te Sarvatah Eva. From all the directions I bow down to you. He is telling Lord Krishna, the Vishwarupa, you are Sarva. You are Sarvatra, you are always, you are ever, you are at all places, you are in all different forms, you are Sarva. That is the salutation he is using for the Lord. You are Ananta Viryam. You are endlessly strong, Sarva Shaktiman, capable, means Samarthya to do anything. And he says Amita Vikramatvam. Amita Vikrama means you have the bold enterprising prowess to do any parakrama. Bhagavan Shri Krishna has also done so many parakramas during the Mahabharata Yuddha. And he says you accept one and all, you are pervaded in one and all. And Tatas Asi Sarva, Ho Atman of all, you manifest as all. And this is how Arjuna is understanding that Bhagavan Krishna, who is in Vishwarupa, is the Atman of all the Jiva. That is what Bhagavan Krishna said when he started his Vibhuti Darshana, that Aham Atma Gudakesha, I am your Atma. And now Arjuna is understanding that Bhagavan is the Atma Tattva of all the beings, and that is the ultimate understanding that we all need to achieve. So after this peaceful, graceful prayer that Arjuna has done for Krishna, now he is asking for the pardon of Shri Krishna. He says, Sakheti matva prasabham yaduktam He Krishna he Yadava he Sakheti Ajanata mahimanam tavedam Maya pramadat pranayena vapi. Arjuna is asking for forgiveness for his mistakes which he may have done unknowingly after understanding the Vishwarupa and the Ishwaratva of the Lord. He says, Sakha iti matva, maybe understanding you as my friend all my life, I have lived with you as a friend. He says, Prasabham yaduktam, if my words have disrespected you in any way, Hey Krishna, I may have spoken to you in words like this, Hey Krishna, Hey Yadav, Hey Sakheti, I may have called you in these names, he says, and he gives 3 reasons why he could have done this. He says, Ajanata mahimanam tavaidam, I may not have known you as Ishvara, Vishwarupa, I only accepted you, understood you as my friend. That was my first mistake. Second, Maya pramadat, maybe out of carelessness, laziness, I may have done this. Api pranayena va, or maybe due to extreme affection, because I was so close to you. And because of these, I may have disrespected you in some way or the other, thinking that you are my friend. And this itself shows Arjuna is very simple. Arjuna word itself means Rujutvat Arjuna. and it shows that he is able to accept his mistakes and apologize to the Lord after understanding his Ishwaratva. यच्चावहात्सार्थमसत्कृतोऽसि विहारशय्यासनभोजनेषु एकोऽथवाप्यच्युत तत्समक्षम् तत्क्षामये त्वाहमहमप्रमेयम्. So Arjuna is telling, "Oh Achyuta, Achyuta is the name of Lord Krishna because he does not miss any of his duties. He has done all his duties to the best of his abilities during his Manushya Avtara as a Krishna. Yaccha avahasa artham." He says, even in Arjuna is telling Krishna, even in a lighter mood, avahasa, maybe in some lighter vein, majak masti, kuch kar rahe honge hum, and maybe as a friend, I may have disrespected you, asakrit asi, I may have disregarded you, disrespected you in any way. And he shows 4 areas where this could have been done. He says, because we were friends, vihara, while we were going out together, maybe shayya, while we were sleeping together, sometimes I may have disrespected you. Asana, when we may be sharing a seat, and bhojaneshu, while we were eating together as friends, I may have disrespected you. In any of these times, ekaha, in privacy, or tat samaksham, in front of others, I may have done this. Tat kshamaye aham, O Lord, please forgive me, I beg for your pardon. Arjuna is telling Sri Krishna, Tvam aprameyam, you are beyond imagination, you are aprameya, you are beyond senses, mind, buddhi, cannot know you, no pramana, you cannot be known by any pramana, and that's why you are aprameya, you are beyond imagination. He is telling Sri Krishna, Pitasi lokasya characharasya, tvamasya pujyasya guru gariyan, natvat samostya adhyatikah kutonyo, lokatrayebhya pratimah prabhava. So Pitasi, you are the father to this living and this non-living world, because God is ultimate father, everything, all the jivas come from the Lord, and that's why he is the father of all. Tvamasya pujyasya, you are the most respectable and you are the greatest teacher, because the entire, he is Sarva Shaktimana and the Jnana Parampara starts from him, so he is a guru. He says, no one is similar to you, you are one. Natvat sama asti abhyadika. Nobody is similar to you. Who can be better than you? How can somebody be better than you in all these 3 lokas? Lokatraya api kuta anya abhyadika. Nobody can be better than you. And he says, Apratima Prabhava, O God, O Lord Krishna, you are of immeasurable splendor. He is still talking to Krishna, who is in Vishwarupa. He is seeing the Vishwarupa, and Arjuna is doing this stuti. He says, you are Apratima. There is no comparison, immeasurable splendor I can see here in this Vishwarupa. Tasmat pranamya pranithaya kayam prasadaye tvamahamisha vidyam Videva putrasya sakheva sakhyuhu priya priyaryarthasi deva sodhum. Tasmat. So there is a relationship. Therefore, in relation in the 43rd shloka, he told Shri Krishna, you are aprameyam, you are unimaginable. Please forgive me. He says, I prostrate down to you completely with my body, with my kaya. I bow down to you as much as I can. Says, Prasadaye, be pleased. Please forgive me, O Lord Vishwarupa. Aham Isha Midyam, I am singing your glories, I am singing your stuti. And he says, how can you forgive me? Just like he gives 3 examples again. He says, just like Pita eva putrasya, just like a father forgives his son, Sakha eva sakhyuhu, just like a friend forgives another friend for mistakes, or Priya priyaha, just like a lover or a beloved forgives another lover or beloved, just like that. He says, Arhasi Sodum, just like they bear with all their mistakes and forgives them. Similarly, Hey Deva, please you also bear with my mistakes, whatever I may have done, ajanata, unknowingly I may have caused disrespect to you. Asatkrus Asi, he says, and please forgive me for all my mistakes. Now, the topic changes a little bit after he asks for pardon. Now Arjuna wants to see his original Swarupa. He now wants to see the original Chaturbhuja Swarupa of Lord Krishna, and that's what he is now saying, describing. Adrashta purvam rashitosmi drashtva bhayena cha pravyatitam mano me tadeva me darshaya deva rupam Prasida Devesha Jagannivasa. So he's telling Vishwarupa that whatever I have seen today, Adrashtapurvam, this is something that I have never seen before, and this is called Rishi Asmi. I am very happy to see this. I am elated. But along with this, he also says, Bhayena cha pravyatitam maname. But along with this happiness in my mind, there is a lot of bhaya, a lot of fear, and my mind is very disturbed. Pravyatitam manaha. My mind is completely disturbed because of the fear. I am very, very upset, he says. So along with this happiness, I have this fear. So he says, Tata eva me darshaya deva rupam. Show me your original form, oh God. He's telling Vishwarupa, O Devesha, O Lord of all the Devas, and Jagan Nivasa, the Lord of the world. Is saluting the Lord and telling him, Prasida, be pleased, show me your Chaturbhuja Swarupa. I want to see that original form of yours, because now this ferocious form, this destructive form of yours is causing a lot of miseries, pain, pravyatita, disturbances in my mind. And what he wants to see is describing again. He says, Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrahastam Ichhami Tvam Drashtumaham Tathaiva Tenaiva Rupena Chaturbhujena Sahasrabaho Bhava Vishwamurte. This I want to see your Chaturbhuja Swarupa along with the Shankha, Gada, Chakra in your hands. He says Kiritinam means Mukuta, Chakra, Gada and Shankha in your hands. Ichhami Tvam Drashtum Aham Tathaiva. I am yearning to see this original form of yours, O Lord. Sahasrabaho. Oh, he is doing stuti to the Vishwarupa, because Vishwarupa is with Sahasrabaho, with 1,000 arms. It says Vishwamurti, Hey Vishwamurti. And Vishwarupa is in the cosmic form. He is praying to the Lord in his cosmic form. It says, Tena eva rupena chaturbhujena bhava. Please manifest in your original Chaturbhuj form. Now I am not able to see this form because of a lot of pravyatita disturbances, with a lot of heat and distress. Arjuna has always seen Krishna in his Chaturbhuja Swarupa, in his, there is a lot of debate whether Krishna in his Avtara was in 2 hands or in his 4 hands, Chaturbhuja form. But if Guruji tells us that if we summarize and see all the Shastras, Lord Krishna was born, when he was born to Devaki in the jail, he was in a Chaturbhuja Swarupa, but then Vasudeva prayed to the Lord that if everybody will recognize you if you are with 4 hands, and please be in the regular 2 hands that humans have. And Bhagavan then converted himself into Dvibhuja Swarupa, and he lived all his life till the Dvibhuja Swarupa in childhood in Vrindavana. He spent as a Dvibhuja because there is no mention in the Shastras that he had 4 hands while he was in Vrindavana. But then when he came back to Mathura and killed Kansa, after that period he again assumed the Chaturbhuja Swarupa, the 4 hands Swarupa of the Lord. And then because in Bhagavad also there is a description that when Bhagwan was in the Dwarka, he was in the Chaturbhuja Swarupa. So all this description is in there. So when Arjuna met Krishna, he was in a Chaturbhuja Swarupa, and this is how Arjuna relates to the Lord. That's why he's asking that you please come back to your original Chaturbhuja Swarupa. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Prasannena Tavarjunedam Rupam Param Darshitam Atma Yoga Tejomayam Vishwamanantamakyam Yanme Twadanyena Drashtapurvam. So Bhagavan is telling Arjuna, oh Arjuna, I am Prasannena Tava. Maya Prasannena Tava. I am very happy, I am pleased by you. That's why I have had this grace on you, and I have shown you this Vishwarupa. Idam Rupam means this Rupa. Idam Vishwarupa. Bhagavan is still in his Vishwarupa, and he is saying, I have shown you this because of I am very happy with you. He says, this divine form, Param Darshitam, this Param form, this divinity, is only because of my Atma Yoga. Bhagavan has this Paripurna Yoga Shakti, his Maya Shakti, because of which he can manifest in these giant Vishwarupa. And this is what Lord himself is telling Arjuna. He says, Tejomayam Vishwam Anantamakyam, which is this Rupa is Tejomaya, very luminous, very vast. Vishwam, it occupies the entire Vishwa, it is Anantam, it is endless, and it is Agyam, it is the beginning, the cause of all, it is the Ishvara Swarupa. And he says, Yatme tvadanyena na drashta purvam. No one else apart from you has ever seen this form before. That is what he tells. But if we see in reality in the Shastras, Guruji tells us that Yashoda has seen this Vishwarupa in the mouth of Krishna when he opened his mouth, but that was for a very transient period. And while Krishna went to the Kaurava Sabha for a sandhi, samadhana, or for a friendship deal with the Kauravas, Duryodhana wanted to tie him with rope, and that is when Krishna assumed the Virata Swarupa, very large, huge form. That was also a part of Vishwarupa. But these were very transient forms which were seen by other people. But this was not like Arjuna here, how he has seen. Not only Arjuna has seen it, but he's described it, his stuti, and Bhagavan has spoken to him in his Vishwaswarupa, Vishwarupa. So this is for the first time. Nobody else before has ever been able to relate to this kind of form with so much detail, with so much of, because Bhagavan gave him this Divya Chakshu, this divine eyes, he could see this very well, Arjuna, and he could actually have a samvada with the Lord and do his stuti while he was in his Vishwarupa. And Bhagavan says, Na veda yagna dhyaya nerna dhanai na cha kriya bhir tapo bhirukraihi evam rupa shakya aham nruloke drashtum tvadanyena kuru pravira. So Bhagavan is telling Arjuna, that neither by Veda Adhyayana or by Yagna Adhyayana or nor by Dana or donations, neither by Kriya Karma nor by rigorous Ugra Tapa, rigorous penance, that this form is not possible to be seen in this mortal world. Nobody can see this, nor even the yogis, nor the karmis, the karma yogis, tapasvis, all these people, those who are doing Brahmana, who are doing Veda studies, Adhyayana, nobody can see this form in this mortal world. Arjuna, it's a very rare, he says, Guru, Pravira, Todanyena, O best of Gurus, apart from you, no one has this grace of mind that they can see this form in this world. Yate Vyatha Macha Vimudha Bhavo Drashtva Rupam Ghoram Dradam Medam Vyapeta Bhihi Pritamana Punastvam Tadeva Me Rupamidam Prapashya. He says, Arjuna, don't get disturbed, don't get also confused, don't be in a Vimudha Bhava, don't get Vyathita. You have seen my ghastly form, but now let go of your fear, because you will now come back to your very happy, pleased state, because he says now you will see me in the same old Chaturbhuja form of mind. That is what Lord Krishna tells him. This is still this time he is in his Vishwarupa, Swarupa, and is telling Arjuna that don't worry, don't get confused. Now very soon you will be able to see my original Chaturbhuj Swarupa. Sanjaya Uvacha Yarjunam Vasudevasthukva Swakam Rupam Darshayamasa Bhuyah Ashvasayamasa cha Bhitamenam Bhutva Punah Saumya Vapur Mahatma. So in this way, after Vasudev Krishna, Sanjay is telling Dhritarashtra, in this way after Vasudev Krishna told all this to Arjuna, don't worry, now you will be very soon seeing my Chaturbhuj Swarupa. Once again, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is now converting back to his Chaturbhuja Swarupa, and he is showing Arjuna his original Chaturbhuj Swarupa, and he is giving a lot of solace. He is consoling Arjuna, who is already in a lot of fear. Hitam enam, he is fearful, he has a lot of fear, and he says great Krishna is assuming a very Saumya Vapu Mahatma. This great Lord Mahatma is appearing in a very pleasing form, the Chaturbhuja Swarupa. And seeing this, Arjuna is saying, Arjuna Uvacha Drashtvedam Manusham Rupam Tava Saumyam Janardana Idanimasmi Samvruttaha Sacheta Prakrutim Gataha. If you notice now, the meter of the shlokas has turned back to the Anushtup Chandaha, which is the most common chanda in all the almost many of the shlokas of Sri Gita Ji. Whereas so far, when the Lord was in a Vishwarupa Swarupa, right from the earlier times, the meter of these shlokas was the Trishtup Chandaha, which was little longer in a different meter. Now it has come back to the Anushtup Chanda. So Arjuna is telling Bhagavana, Ho Janardana, you are the destroyer of all the crooked people. After seeing your pleasing human Saumya Manusha Rupam, I am now better organized. Idanim Asmi Samvruttaha, I am now coming back to my senses. He says, Sacheta, I have regained my consciousness also. And Pratutim Gataha, I have come back to my own original nature. My Pravratita, my mind was so disturbed, but now my mind has become more peaceful. I am better organized. Seeing your human form. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Sudurdarsham Idam Rupam Drashtavanasi Yanmama Devaya Apyasya Rupasya Nityam Darshana Kankshinaha. So this Vishwarupa Bhagavan is now trying to summarize this entire Adhyaya, and is trying to, now he has come back to Chaturbhuja Swarupa and is telling Arjuna, and he is giving a final message to Arjuna that this Vishwarupa is very rare, it is very durlabha. Now that you have seen this form Vishwarupa of mind, he is saying it is possible, Sudur Darsham. It is only possible to see with a lot of hardships, difficulties. It is not easy, Arjuna. It requires a kathor, a very hard work, kathor sadhana to even become eligible, to develop the patrata, yogyata, eligibility to see this kind of a swarupa. It is Surdur Darsham, he is saying. Even the devas, Deva api asya rupasya nityam darshana kankshinaha. They are also very, very eager to see this Vishwarupa of mind, but it is very rare even for the devas to see this. It is very durlabha. He is telling Arjuna, Naham vedairna tapasa na danena na chechaya shakya evam vido drashtum drashtavanasi mam yatha. So again, Bhagavan is telling Arjuna that neither by Veda studies, nor by tapasa, penance, neither by danena, donations, neither by ijjaya, by yagna, shakya evam vidam drashtum. It is not possible to see me in this Vishwarupa form. The one that you saw very recently, Vishwarupa Darshana, is telling. And he is also the reason why Bhagavan Shri Krishna is repeating this. The same thing that he has already told Arjuna while he was in the Vishwarupa, that neither by Veda, nor by Tapa, nor by Yagna, nor by Dana it can be seen. The reason to repeat this again is because in the next shloka he is describing to Arjuna the ultimate rahasya, how he can be attained in this form, how people can see him in this form. In the next shloka, which is the second last shloka of this adhyaya, he says, Bhaktya tvananyaya shakyam ahamevam vidhojuna jnatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. It shows how he can be attained, how this Swarupa, Vishwarupa Darshana can be attained by devotee. He says, Bhaktya tu ananyaya. Ananya Bhakti is the only way to achieve this. He is telling, only with one pointed devotion, that Shakyam, it is possible. O Arjuna, it is possible to know me in this Vishwarupa Darshana. And he says, Hey Parantapa, O great warrior, you have won over several enemies, but now you have to win over this inner enemy that does not allow all of us to have this kind of a one-point devotion, the Ananya Bhakti. Gnatum drashtum cha tatvena pravashtum cha, to know me, gnatum, to know me, drashtum, to see me, and tatvena pravashtum, to understand me, to attain me in reality, he says. And devotion, Bhagavan Krishna is telling Arjuna, is the only way that we become eligible to have this grace of the Lord. It cannot be attained, this cannot be attained by just by karma, just by dana, just by doing good work, just by doing finance or Veda studies. It is only by devotion. And what kind of devotion? This devotion is not simple devotion that we do some seva, puja or some bhakti for some of the time. He says, this is ananya bhakti, bhaktya tu ananyaya. Only because with a one-pointed ananya bhakti, God shows that he can be attained. It is possible to attain the Lord, to see this Vishwarupa. And he says, Ananya Bhakti. Ananya means na anya, nowhere else. Our mind, our focus, our nishta, our concentration, our commitment, everything is only to the Lord, nowhere else in this Jagata. And God becomes our first priority. the only priority in our life. If this is the kind of bhakti that we can achieve, then only it is possible to have. And this comes with the love, respect and devotion which is only for the Lord, not for this world, not for our relations, not to our family, not to our workplace, not to our attachments to other people in our life, but God becomes the first relation. It's a goal, the only goal, not the means to the goal, but Bhagwan is the only goal, and all our activities, all our work, all our endeavors, all our everything, all our life is involved in to achieve this, to attain this goal. If this is the form of bhakti, by accepting all the situations that come in our life, for the bhakta, it is the grace of the Lord, and he makes the use of all these situations to come closer to the Lord, to develop relation, be one with the God. And this happens only when our life is without complaints, without any blames. And Bhagavan himself has said that it is possible that he can be attained, and he shows the way how he can be attained by only one pointed devotion, Ananya Bhakti. In the last shloka of the 11th Adhyaya, the Vishwarupa Darshana, Bhagavan says, he summarizes the entire sadhana. It is a summary shloka of the entire Gita Ji, actually the entire sadhana. It says, Mat karma krun mat paramo mat bhakta sangha varjitaha nirvairah sarva bhuteshu yah samameti pandava. So it's a summary of the Gita Ji, and it shows the steps of any journey of any seeker or a devotee, what he needs to do. Samam eti, that devotee or that seeker will attain me. And he shows 5 steps here. The first, mat karma kruta, who does everything, all the karma, everything is done for me. That means he does karma yoga, karma to achieve connectivity to the Lord. He says mat param, he is surrendered to me. He has a gnan parayan nishtha, he is always surrendered to me. And third, he says Mad Bhakta, who is devoted to me, who uses bhakti as a yoga to connect with me to the divine. So karma, bhakti and jnana, the 3 sadhanas that he has shown, which we need to practice. And then he shows 2 sadhanas which we need to avoid. He says Sangha Varjitaha, we should have without our attachments. Raga Varjitaha, Raga is the Sangha, and this is called Vairagya. And Nirvaira Sarva Bhuteshu means devoid of any animosity, any dvesha bhav towards any of the beings. And this raga dvesha are our biggest obstacles. Bhagavan has repeatedly told us we have to avoid. So these are the 2 things that we have to avoid, the 4th and the 5th, raga and dvesha. And this is how we can achieve the divinity. And the detailed description of this comes in the 12th adhyaya, the Bhakti Yoga, which is a very beautiful adhyaya. Consists only of 20 shlokas, but it gives a very detailed, each shloka, each word is so well explained by the Guruji about how we can achieve this kind of a one-point devotion in our life, Ananya Bhakti, so that we can feel one, become one with the Lord. So with this we come to the end of the 11th Adhyaya, the Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, where Bhagavan himself showed his cosmic form, eternal Vishwarupa Darshana. And this helps the devotee to connect to the divine. And the next adhyaya is also very beautiful, the detailed description of the Bhakti Yoga, which we'll see later. Om Tat Sat Iti Shrimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Vishwarupa Darshana Yogo Nama Ekadashodhyayaha Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tva Sarva Papityo Moksha Ishyami Ma Shuchaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Para Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.